the reason we're gathering is that there's a world occurrence that is on top of what we normally experience today. And it's a division that's starting between good and evil. And you might experience it in your daily lives as people flare up and attack good people like they never have before. There might be arguments like you explained earlier with your husband, out of nowhere, out of nothing, no particular reason. Nobody accuses anybody except those who work with the evil side. They accuse good people for doing their work right, for being honest, for being straightforward, for holding their part of the deal. They all get slandered, ripped apart, torn down, and the work is just starting. This event will occur more so over the next few years, thousands even. And it's a sad situation for those who are not aware how to combat this. It's all in the plans and it's all written about in several different issues, which nobody today much cares to glance at, but that's not our fault over on this side. It has, consider yourself pre-warned, but there are some things you can take heed. And since you're all sitting here, we are convinced you're on the good side of things, since evildoers possibly might not be interested in listening to anything like this. Nor would they be possibly allowed in our presence. Well, allowed being an operative word. So thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for joining, and we'll talk about the issues in this particular order. And as usual, we have a secretary too. So Bonnie, thank you very much for taking a couple of notes.
I was going to write unemployed Norwegian secretary.
Good for you. So start writing whenever you feel ready. Issue number 1. How to avoid being torn apart by these occurrences. If somebody, say at your workplace, is attacking you for no particular reason, and you're slandered and made feel uncomfortable and afraid even to go to work, and you know in your hearts of hearts you're good and you're doing your best, what to do? Second issue, what if it happens in a relationship with someone you know, equals, partnerships, friends, even best friends, or husbands and wife, or even children in the same family could be torn apart by this. What if it happens outside? Say an innocent bystander gets injured, etc. There's lots of different ways the evil can, or contempt being one of them. There will be a lot of contempt in the areas of work and relationship especially. Envy and hatred and contempt. So how to guard oneself around that, and how to keep sacred space like this pure and sheltered, and all people opening their hearts can feel safe about that. Since whenever you open your heart, you have to, Mia included by the way, you have to make certain that the people who are present are absolutely on the right side of the curtain, so to speak. If you open your heart and somebody who's in downward spiraling, either in their issues like mental health or addictions or anything, you might get sucked into the current or sucked bone dry from all your life currents and energies. So how, questions?
How do you make sure that the people are, this is the thing, is evil can disguise itself so well?
Absolutely, good questions are welcome at any time. And they are either too forward or they are too behind. You have met people who are in your face, so to speak. Too much, too kind, too interested, too helpless, too much of every single attribute. Thinks like there's something going on, then there is. Or they are too withdrawn, too ashamed, too sick, too apathetic, or too any of those two extremes. Avoidance is one name of the evil's place on people's lives, and the other one is too pushiness. So the pushiness, or being too upfront with all types of situations. So you have to be extra careful with these type of personalities, and once you say that you are interested in spiritual seeking, etc., some fall off right off the bat. And whatever your way of walking is, or say, I uphold honesty as one of my main virtues, etc., you might see a flinch or a flicker if somebody else doesn't.
Right, okay.
So you get the vibe,
Got
so
it.
to speak,
Mhm.
the modern speak, the vibe, which is, we detect lots of millions of micro messages, expressions, and body language, and finally, if you don't feel right, it ain't right. So trust your gut. Everywhere you go, if something makes you feel slightly worse than before, or somebody before the event, then definitely there's some undercurrent of lingering. Somebody's harboring something, and that is completely unbeknown to you and nothing to do with you. Most of these people have their own situations. Well, anyway, trust your senses. Secondly, trust yourselves. This is a hard one, especially with people who battle their past, where people have trusted themselves not, and taught their children also not to trust themselves. We might be brought up in a household by a mother or father who had very low self-esteem or lack of trust in self, and then we learn that. So the issue isn't that it's not a detrimental issue, but just remind yourself, trust your senses, at least. That's a good starting point. And if something doesn't feel right, if it feels off, then it is off. Trust yourself. If you know in your hearts that you're on the right path, then you can completely trust your senses about things. Allow yourself, don't negate your own better knowing. The second situation we have is that open minds need company. And it's very sad to be the only open mind in the group. And if you don't have others to share your joy of opening to higher realms, it's extremely isolating and sad. And lives have been ended for these reasons, when there have been people like her or other people past in the history who have been seen as oddities and very much alone in the community of negators, and they might have destroyed themselves in the process, since it's a tough choice. Either you stay and you're in hell, or you leave and you're even worse in hell, possibly. But anyway, change is a change.
Left a lot of those.
Yeah, it's sad, it's extremely sad. So if you know of anybody who is of the simple faith of there's somebody outside of here, I think they are, bring them on. We need more like-minded people to listen to what we have to say, we have to speak about. And then finally, we need to take care of our souls. Soul sheltering isn't a children's game. Soul sheltering is serious business. You have to take care of your souls. Feed it properly. Nurture your souls with anything that appeals to you. Beauty, nature, songs that you love, texts that you like, poetry, traveling, seeing friendships blossom, reading out aloud to a child, whatever. Don't starve your souls. There's another huge, sad and depressing idea of being a soul on earth without any nourishment, deprived by its owner. How could you, if you were your own child, how could you not nourish the sweet, gentle and loving soul inside and just let it starve to death? Not to death exactly, but wither and suffer from day in, day out. This is not, as one lady has spoke in a session earlier, self-indulgence and shouldn't be felt guilty about. It's a necessary thing. This is why you're experiencing Earth. That your soul may experience other things like beauty of nature or the scent of a rose. We have lots of beautiful ideas up on this side of the curtain, but not necessarily the scent of a rose. Or a cloud, how it moves across the sky. Or small items or children who you can actually hug with your both arms. And the sweet scent of a lover's hand. Yes. Nurture your soul, don't starve it. It's a necessity, not a self-indulgence. This is why you came. You didn't come to punish, deprive, and kick in the ass, as in, let's get up earlier so we can get more quote-unquote work done. This is not the point why we came to work. Work is already over. The work has been done eons ago. You're here to experience and trust. And if you truly nurture your soul, as Mia is about to do by allowing herself finally to go and meet some other spiritual people and spending some holy moly money on it, they're ridiculous, but it's so much compared to what? A complete renovation of a house, which soon will be empty because she will be too busy traveling all around. So, yes, definitely ridiculous. Allow yourself a nurture, then money will take care of itself. All the other things, and limitlessly, Leslie here should have a middle name, Limitlessly. She is big on setting boundaries for herself. Allow yourself to be. And Karen, you have a beautiful sense of beauty. Use it to its fullest. Even if it takes days to gaze at an object or a situation, gaze at it. Who's to say where you end up with that gazing? You might become the best object gazer there ever was. People might give you something to gaze at, and then finally you make a picture of it like nobody else. Like nobody else has seen. And that would be $10,000, thank you very much. After a whole week of gazing. Chiefly, easy, fantastically, enjoy, laugh, love, and fearlessly bounce forward to whatever the next day will bring. We are here to cheer you up, and so happy that you came.